the time when I realized that I have to leave
This is one time I realized how important
The Empathy Museum presents A Mile in My Shoes. So I'm holding in my hands a pair of work boots, fashion work boots, but they're work boots. They're size 12. These boots have seen work. The leather is beautifully worn and seasoned and weathered. There's no laces. There's their elasticated sides. The base is that rubberized, sort of Dr. Martini sole. Again, no nonsense, no messing around. Get these boots on, get out there, get the job done. They're tireless shoes. These shoes belong to Tristan Gibbs. This is his story.
I'm Tristan Gibbs. We're farming dairy cows, bit of beef and arable farming here. About 240 dairy cows plus the young stock as well on top of that. Most of the ground's within a mile of central unit. We're currently stood on the central unit next door to the parlour. Bit undulating, quite high up, quite not the easiest of ground to be farming. My grandfather moved here when he was about 2. He was born on another farm not all that far away. They rented it and then it came up for the estate put it up for sale, and my great-grandfather bought it, and I'd be great-grandfather, grandfather, dad, and myself, the fourth generation that's been farming here. I'm 31. We're just walking along the field's called the Lower Meadow here. We're going to see the cows. Well, at the moment we're looking across about 142 animals out there at the moment. To be honest with you, I call them my happy mongrels because they're all crossbred animals out there. We've not got one particular breed within the herd itself. We've got Montbéliard bloodlines, Holstein, British Friesian, Brown Swiss. There's an Aussie Red just over there by that water tank. And, well, an Angus Bull that's just over there behind that one cow. I think we're around 26 or 27 pence at the moment per litre of milk. But it could do with being closer to 30 pence. But in the shops, I did have to buy some. I only bought a little pint of it because I forgot to pick some up before I went home. And I remember paying 90 some odd pence for it. I was absolutely fuming in the shop. I think the person behind the counter was a bit taken aback because I was absolutely fuming at the shop. Busted my gut to get it out, and at 20 some odd pence, and they're selling it for 90 pence for half a litre, and I never bought milk in the shop ever again. Yeah, I'm just rolling a cigarette, yeah. Yeah, we just gone through a pretty tough winter. We've had variable sort of quality forages. The cows, we couldn't get them to milk pre-Christmas very well off it. We seem to be throwing an awful lot of bought-in feeds at them to get some milk off them. And post-Christmas, it was just starting to pick up. And then we've had snow, ice, snow drifts, and as we stand just at the moment, we're probably 3 weeks adrift of where we should be by this time of year. Hopefully everything will catch up, but it might knock some of the yields on. Certainly some of the forage crops we might lose a bit on the yields. The grass seems to catch up somehow. It seems to balance itself out. It's just how we're going to manage that. Because at the moment we're going through Grey's grass like it's going out of fashion. They're milking well off it, and they're glad to be in it, but it's not recovering particularly quickly at the moment. Bloody lighter. I used to have a lot more of a connection to them than I would say I have now, because we've gone up in numbers, but we've been shut down with TB, and I found the problem with that was you were always losing your favourites. You almost have to distance yourself a bit from it now, compared to when I started. When I started milking, we were only about 100 odd cows at that point, and I got names for all of them, and you knew the cows. And now I've almost distanced yourself just for your own sake. A few years back now, lost 68 animals, and it was absolutely gutting, to be fair. A lot of them were younger animals that hadn't even been outside, and we couldn't find a reason for having lost so many animals. It took a long time to come back from that one. I would say emotionally it can be a bit tough on you. Buggering. Well, I was helping as a kid, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the work. As I've got older, I've had to take it perhaps more seriously and stuff like that, which is good in some respects and bad in others sometimes. Perhaps not practically as much fun as it used to be, but I don't think you can do this job if you don't love it. To a certain extent, it's just not. It just wouldn't work, because you won't make your millions in farming. You never make your millions in farming. So if you're in it for the money, you're not. You're in it for the wrong reason, really. Working with me, there's me, another cousin of mine, my dad and my grandmother, and then my aunt comes in and does a bit as well. My main contractor is my brother-in-law, so it's very much a family sort of affair. In the farmhouse with me, I've lived with my grandmother, my cousin and my aunt. I quite like living along with my family, to be honest. It's nice. There's usually someone in the house at least. You never come back home to an empty house. Well, very rarely come back home and the house is empty. I'm single at the moment and have been for probably 18 months now. Oh, it is a bit difficult to meet people within this sort of setting, because you don't tend to go all that far away, so you find you're socialising with the same people. I wouldn't go too much further afield from the farm than probably 4 or 5 miles, because you've always got to be back for the mornings. I've tried internet dating before now. It's been alright. I've met some nice people. To be honest with you, whoever it was, they'd have to get on with my family and maybe just have a bit of understanding about the work I do. Not necessarily be involved in the work I do, but just a bit understanding about it. I don't think some people get why you would want to go out a cold morning, you're covered in cow muck, or why you put in the hours you put in. I think some people just think you're a bit mad for wanting to put yourself through this day after day after day. When I was younger, there always seemed to be loads of people about, and as time has gone on, we seem to have there's less of us about, and now you're covering an awful lot more yourself than perhaps we were 10 years ago. So we're trying to do more with less people all the time. So I'd say you can get a bit isolated, but that's it sort of just goes with the territory, really. There's a bit of responsibility to it, and you don't want to fail at the job, because the generations that have gone before haven't failed and have kept it running and kept it moving forward, so that you have got this opportunity to go into farming. So there's a bit of pressure to try and keep yourself moving forwards and try to keep the wheels on and keep yourself on track. Well, if I had kids, the opportunity would be there for them if they wanted it. It's whether they wanted it or not. It's whether they'd look at me and think, well, why on earth is he doing this to himself? But I'd like to think that they'd have the opportunity to farm. Well, sometimes you might question it yourself while you're doing it, but I can't really see myself doing anything else. Lovely evening tonight. It does make it easier. Could do with just being a bit warmer, really. It was nice a few days ago when it was a bit warmer.
Tristan's story was produced by Karen Gregor. His shoes are part of a growing collection of footwear hosted by the Empathy Museum's A Mile in My Shoes exhibition. The shoes and stories come from all over the world. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram to find out where we're going next.